Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, July 31st, 2015. Welcome to another eBay Talk discussion group. Today's topics will be the following. We're going to discuss slow summer sales, defects, low feedback percentages and how it affects mobile users, and pros and cons of eBay guest accounts. And of course we'll do a little discussion of some of the things you guys had to say on last week's video. But right now, before we jump right into the eBay section of the video, I want to discuss current events, if I may. Every so often I'll lead off with a current event topic or topics that I think have really gathered a lot of attention and are worth discussing. And I'll do that today. It'll only take a couple of minutes, but I'm sure you guys have heard at least 2 of the 3 news stories I'm about to tell you. And just so you know, right now it's 80 degrees, it's cloudy, and it's humid. Just for the record. Alright, news stories I want to discuss. First is the freaky news story, which I don't think most of you guys heard of. But this week, the authorities in North Carolina, specifically Caldwell County, North Carolina, discovered a wrecked Pontiac in a lake. When they pulled the Pontiac out, it was an older model, a 1968 car. It had the remains of the driver still inside, and when they did their research, this accident happened back in 1972, and this person was entombed in this car for over 43 years, guys. Can you believe it? In 1972, he was driving somewhere locally near his house, and for whatever reason, maybe it was raining or snowing or whatever, he crashed, went off the road, went into a lake, and that car remained unseen and hidden for 43 years. I will try and drop a link to that story below, because it's probably the only one of the stories you guys probably haven't heard of, but that is freaky, man. I reported on this kind of thing last year, if you remember. These accidents that go unfound for many, many years. Weird, man. Moving on, I'm sure you guys have heard of this big news story about Dr. Walt Palmer, who killed Cecil the lion, a beloved lion. I cannot fathom how anybody would kill an innocent animal like that. This particular guy has also killed a bear and is wanted on felony charges for killing that bear. Alright, he violated the gaming restrictions, I believe. And this story has been gathering a lot of news attention, and the public is just going crazy over it. And I just got a question. Okay. Later we'll talk about how the iPhone is very good for answering questions, but not so good for leaving feedback. And the third news story I just want to bring up, which I'm sure most of you guys have heard of, are these 2 kids that disappeared off the coast of Florida. Perry Cohn and Austin Stefanos. 2 14-year-old kids who are experienced boaters. They've been on the sea all their life. I mean, just because they're 14 doesn't mean they don't know what they're doing. I mean, I'm sure they can handle a boat better than I can, because I get seasick real easy. But I sure hope they find these 2 kids. They went missing last Sunday. The authorities found their fishing boat capsized. It's a 19-foot boat. They found it capsized, and they found 1 life vest floating near the boat. But otherwise, no sign of these 2 young men. And I sure hope this comes to a good ending. But it's been like 7 days. I mean, how long can you survive without food and water, man? I don't know. I sure hope that this comes to a good ending. But anyway, those were the 3 news events that I felt were worthy to discuss this week. We will now segue to the eBay section of the video. First, with slow summer sales. Up till now, I will say my sales have been pretty decent. Pretty steady all the way. Every now and then I had a blip. I reported to you in last week's video how the Sunday before was dead as a doornail. Well, guys, this week was the same thing. I made a sale Saturday at around 1 o'clock. Nothing Saturday afternoon or Saturday night. Nothing at all day Sunday, not a peep, which is highly unusual. Sundays were always my best day, not anymore. Sunday night I made one little small sale, but then Monday everything came right back again. Okay, so that was good. Everything came back on Monday. Tuesday was decent. Wednesday was all right. Thursday, slow, but nothing as bad as Sunday. Absolutely horrible. And several of you guys have written in to me and told me your Sundays were slow too. Have you guys noticed that Sunday is the new terrible day of the week? And if so, can you attribute it to anything? I know some of you guys will say, well, people are going out and going away. And yeah, that's true to a point. But still, I really wouldn't expect to get shut out. We haven't talked about defects in a while. My defect percentage is now 0.66%. So if you guys wouldn't mind, when you get a chance and you do your comments, would you type in below what your defect percentage is? I'm just very curious to see how we're all faring. One thing we all seem to agree on is we're getting a lot less feedback than we should from our buyers. Now, as we discussed in last week's video, people with guest accounts cannot leave feedback. Okay? I'm getting a lot of guest accounts. I'm getting like 10 to 20 a week. And I don't consider that a bad thing. In a way, it's a good thing. It just shows that my items are available in Google search. People are searching for the stuff, they're seeing it, and they're buying my items. So I mean, all I want to do is make the sale. The feedback, positive feedback, is the icing on the cake. It's not the cake itself for me. I'm mainly in it to make the sale. But somebody wrote in last week's video and he stated that he feels the reason why we're not getting a lot of positive feedback from our buyers, even our registered buyers, is because of the mobile app. That it's harder to leave feedback. And I agree with him. I agree with him. People are still writing in saying the mobile app does not show the entire auction, or does not show it correctly. A lot of sellers do not have their listings mobile friendly. Okay? I've tested mine out. Mine are mobile friendly. The key is, guys, if you want to make your listings mobile friendly, I'm sure most of you know this, do not have any pictures in the description area. Only have your pictures in the eBay picture services area. That's the way it's recommended. For your font size, use size 14. Alright? Do not overload it with useless text. There are some old school sellers that still have these long rambling requirements. Like, read this first. I demand to be paid within 2 days, and this and that, all kinds of stuff. Guys, that's old school eBay. Don't do that anymore. All the buyer requirements are preset by eBay. All you have to do is fill them in. Alright? It's real easy. eBay is pushing the mobile-friendly app. As I've told you in the past, my mobile-friendly sales are only 24 to 27%. Yeah, I know you hear the lawnmower in the background, guys. I have nothing I can do about that. You never know when these things are going to pop up. Everybody around here hires landscapers. Alright? If you hear a lawnmower on a weekday, you know it's somebody who's hiring a paid service to do their landscaping. I myself do mine on the weekend. Okay? Only 2 of us here mow our own lawns, and I'm one of them. Hey! Gotta get some exercise, right? It's better going to the movies all alone in the middle of the day. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I like to lighten up the video once in a while with some levity. Moving on. I read on one of the Facebook groups the other day, a lady wrote in complaining about her sales. And she said her whole gross sales for the month of June was $100. I mean, that's crazy, man. $100 for the whole month? So she went on to say she was starting to retool all her listings, trying to make them mobile friendly, trying to update her pictures, her terms, getting rid of a lot of useless text. And she said for the first couple of days of July, nothing happened. But once we got into the first week of July, her sales did pick up appreciably, and she is cautiously optimistic on that. So guys, if you have a lot of old stale listings, you're probably going to want to retool them. As I told you in last week's video and the week before, I have a bunch of really stale dog items that I'm relisting, and I've retooled them, and I decided to charge nominal shipping fees for them to see if they sell. Now I will tell you this, it's only been a week or two. Not a single of those dog items has yet sold of mine, but that doesn't concern me, because I've also been listing some new items. I don't mean brand new, I just mean new listings, items that just came in. And as I said, as an experiment, I've been charging shipping. And a good amount of these items are selling when I'm charging shipping. Because I know Google loves to see items that have paid shipping. eBay, not so much. But again, you have to go where the money is, and the idea is to make the sale. Okay? I think you guys will agree with me on that. As far as these eBay guest accounts are concerned, eBay's rationale, as I told you last week, is they feel that if they let people sign on as a guest, the people will like it, and they will come back and they will buy more, and they'll establish an account. But I'm not so sure if that's correct. So I think a lot of people with guest accounts just come in and nail one or two items that they want, they happen to see, and then they disappear from the woodwork. You guys have any comments on that? Or any feelings whatsoever? Today is July 31st, the last day of the month. As I said, this is the first week I can say sales have actually slowed down appreciably. The whole summer, really no complaints. But now you got these people, and I'm probably going to be one of them, that realize the summer's coming to an end, and they want to take some time off and get away. And hey, go for it, man. I'm hoping a lot of you guys go away in September to the eBay We Are 20 San Jose event that we talked about last week. I will be bringing that up more and more as the time draws closer, because I really hope to network with a lot of you good people and see you out there. When I talked about it last week, somebody wrote in a funny comment. He wrote in, "Joe, I would love to go to the eBay San Jose event with you guys, but my eBay sales are so slow, I just can't afford to pay for the trip." Now, I'm not sure if he was being facetious or if he really meant it, but I see where he's coming from. I'd still like to see him and all of you guys there. All right? So that's about it for today. Keeping it short and sweet. Basically, it was a rehash of some topics we talked about last week. Let's just do a real quick summary. When you get a chance, could you type your defect percentage in? I'd like to know what it is. Mine is 0.66%. Did you notice that this week was slower than normal for you with your eBay sales? And have you noticed that Sunday is the worst day of the week? Do you have any comments about the fact that eBay guest users cannot leave us positive feedback? I mean, to me, I don't care. I don't care a bit. I wouldn't care if 100% of my customers were eBay guest users, just so long as they make the purchase. That's all I want. I want the sale. The feedback is just the icing on the cake. By the way, I have over 9,700 and something feedback, and I'm 100%, and I'm a TRS. Top-rated seller, Joe DeMarco, sitting here looking at you. I'm Crazy New York Driver, and you're not. Thanks for watching. Any comments, questions, concerns, type them below, and I'll see you guys next week. Rock on.